Because they would have stolen it. They would have stolen it. And Gideon, we're dealing again with Judges chapter 5. Gideon was told to go out and to take down the altar of Baal and everything associated with Baal. And Gideon did so. But he was so afraid at this stage. So afraid. He took servants with him. So he did it by night. He crept up to the altar with his servants. And he smashed the lot. And what did the people do? The very people here that were crying out that the Midianites were oppressing them. Oh, they were oppressing them all right. Stealing from them. No doubt taking their children. Taking their money, their goods, everything, and laughing at them. Here is the weak children of God. Oh, they're God. Like Sanballat, wasn't he, when he came against the walls of Jerusalem. He said, I come in the name of the Lord. That's one of his sayings. I came in the Lord. He told me to come here. Just a mockery. A mockery. And what did the children of Israel do? Oh, they were crying out, and the Lord sent them. This man, who was so diffident he didn't trust himself, totally diffident, Gideon, was to be their saviour. But what did they do? In the morning, when they came across their altar to Baal, they wanted the death of Gideon, just as their children wanted the death, or maybe some of these wanted the death of Moses when Moses rescued them, he being the instrument to rescue them from Egypt. They wanted to put him to death. They said he brought them out to kill them. No wonder Moses hit the rock twice. Total despair, anger. He lost control. People, well, the Arminians blame him. Oh, look at this. Oh yeah, and you would have done the same, would you? Huh? You wouldn't have done the same. That's what you're telling us. You're always attacking Christians. Always. The devil within you. Always. Well, the children of Israel here inquired, who has thrown down the altar to Baal? Hold on, one moment. You're worshipping a false god who brought you into bondage to the Midianites. And there was such bad bondage that you cried unto Baal? Did you cry unto Baal to save you? Could he save you? No, you know he couldn't pick and save you. So you went to where? To Jehovah, your maker and creator, who is God. And you cried unto him. Did he disperse the Midianites? No. He would set you an example. He'd get one of your own, called Gideon. A very pious, diffident man, to lead you to victory. And so did Jesus Christ, the ultimate man, the Son of Man. Led us, the children of God, to victory at Calvary. Baal couldn't save them. Baal couldn't save them. So why are they now standing here? Going to Baal, defending Baal. This is the perverseness of human nature. Fallen human nature. Well, they make an inquiry and they find out that it is Gideon. Oh, yes. Oh, how they would fly. To where Gideon lived. And want to have him put to death. We read these words. Verse 29, let's go from there, of Judges 5. And they said one to another, who hath done this thing? Who's pulled down our altar? Eh? And when they inquired and asked, they said, Gideon, the son of Joash, hath done this thing. Then the men of the city said unto Joash, bring out thy son, that he may die, because he hath cast down the altar of Baal, and because he hath cut down the grove that was by it. They planted it in a grove. Let's have him out. Let's murder him for a false god. Goes on today. They call it agendas. False agendas is their false god. You have this agenda and that agenda and every other agenda under the sun. Huh? And you contend against those agendas and pull them down and totally destroy them in front of the faces of the people who are promoting them. And the anger and the fire that comes out of their mouths like dragons. All they want to do is murder you, but it's a false agenda, mate. It's a false agenda. It's Baal. Arminianism is Baal. Popery is Baal. Corrupt politics is Baal. Totally Baal. This world is utterly corrupt, and when we contend against it and pull down its agendas, it's got this agenda, that agenda, every agenda under the sun. And if they can't get enough of the agendas that they have, they'll come up with another agenda, off another agenda, off another, and so it goes on, like the sorcerers of Egypt within Egypt. And once we stand against these and show that there is one God, one true righteousness, one true holiness, one true way, these people become monsters. Monsters that they are. They show forth their monstrous nature in attacking us. Men of the city. We want to murder. We won't do it. We, the men of the city, won't do it. Oh, no. We'll employ Joe Muggins over here. Oh, they'll do it. Just throw them into the crowd. Oh, no blood on our hands. No blood on the hands of the Pharisees. Or any high official in Jewry. Oh, no. When it came to Christ, we'll give him to secular authorities. And then they slipped up and said, let his blood be upon us and upon our children, and our children's children. They wouldn't put it, they wouldn't sully their hands. They knew that what they were doing was wrong, that murder is wrong. 10 Commandments, thou shalt do no murder. Self-defence is another matter. But murder of innocents, innocent people, that is murder. That's murder. That's constituted murder. This world will expand that to take in other things. It shouldn't. But then again, that's the world. Murder is the taking of life of an innocent life. It's not on the battlefield. Huh? And equally metaphorically, we murdered the enemy when we speak the truth. Christ slew the wicked that stood in his way. Slew them. And they knew Christ. Gideon would at this time be yet one of a number of saviours of Israel of old. Of course, he stood there and he reasoned with them. And his father also. And Joash said unto all that stood against him, will ye plead for Baal? Exactly. Will ye plead for Baal? Will ye save him? Well, he couldn't save himself, could he? You've got to save him. He couldn't save himself from a mere human being called Gideon and his servants. Eh? And Joash said unto all that stood against him, will ye plead for Baal? Will ye save him? He that will plead for him, let him be put to death whilst it is yet morning. If it be a God, if it be a God, eh, let him plead for himself, because one hath cast down his altar. Therefore on that day he called him Jerubbaal, saying that Baal plead against him, because he hath thrown down his altar. Some God, isn't it? Eh? Baal is some God. Couldn't save himself, so he couldn't save the people. When a cathedral church is burning away very nicely, none of the figurines that people bow down to and pray and kiss the feet of and touch can save it. Come on, you might as well get the fireman there, Fireman Sam outside, shouting out, St. Andrew, get the fire extinguisher and put it out yourself, I'm going home for tea. Can they? No. You have to have a physical human being there to put the fires out. No wonder they're called idols. But as here, people superstitiously believe in this mystery. This mystery of iniquity. That's all it is. It's iniquitous. It's not lawful. It's iniquitous. It's without law. The law of common sense, for a start. It's you might as well bow down to a cup of tea. For all it's worth, it got put out a fire in a burning building. Huh? You don't go down the fire station again, for instance, and get a load of figurines behind in the cab of a fire engine. A figurine trying to drive it down the road. No, because common sense tells you at the end of the day it's just a figurine. I've made it, or somebody else has made it. It's got no life in it. And it represents not the person that it's supposed to represent. Unless you've got a Kodak picture of James, eh? Or Luke, or John, or Peter, eh? No wonder people laugh. And God laughs in the first instance. He that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh. He shall have them in derision. Because it's utter nonsense. Utter nonsense. It's like beating the air, isn't it, with people that are hardened and getting frustrated and upset. Why can't I get through it? Because you're Klondike. They're hardened. Do you not know that once you come to the line in the sand, passing over to the Rubicon, passing over the Rubicon orbit, that there's no going back, there's no point of return, and that some people are so hardened of the Lord that they can't hear. They've no ears to hear, totally. They've abandoned the right way, you see. The right way of common sense. That's where it all begins. Common sense. Thrown out. Thrown out. How did they do it? Simple. These persons don't want to hear the truth. Common sense says hear the truth. Common sense says reject lies. Go for light, not darkness. These people strictly adhere their lives to the world after such a manner that every word that a politician and every word that a newspaper says and comes across in newspapers and radio broadcasts and everything else of the setup of this world, they adhere to, they stick to it. They're not going to budge from it. You try and tell them, don't go that way. You're a singular human being with reason. Don't get into bondage with this lot. And there comes a time where they're totally reprobated. You can't get through to them. You pass on. Reason with them. And after 2 or 3 bouts of reasoning with them, you walk on. They're in outer darkness for having rejected the truth. The light of the truth. Okay. Let Baal plead against him. Could you imagine this mysterious Baal walking the earth, coming to Gideon? This is what Joab was saying. Come to my son. Let him come. Come on. Let's have this debate. Let's have this talk. You know, the fancy words, you know, they come up with these days. Talk. Let's have a conversation. I mean, talking and conversation is the common thing, but the way the politicians do it, they say, well, let's have a conversation. Like my new handbag? And that's just Tony Blair. You know, it's just, you're just going to laugh, haven't you? You're going to laugh at all the stupidity and lies and deceit. Otherwise, as the world would have it to be, you get depressed. You just, you know, despair beyond despair. But no, we should understand, should grow to understand that this world is totally away with the fairies. Therefore, on that day he called him Jerubbaal, saying, let Baal plead against him, because he hath thrown down his altars. Then all the Midianites and the Amalekites and the children of the east were gathered together and went over and pitched in the valley of Jezreel. You see how the enemy gathers together. Oh! saw an opportunity of attacking Israel. And you know, if we go the way of the world, we shall get attacked. Oh, by the enemy. We're open. We're exposed to the enemy. Our lives are exposed. The spiritual enemies, the Midianites, Canaanites, Girgashites, Philistines, etc., etc., all mass within the spiritual realm against us. God allows it for our disobedience. If we've grievously disobeyed God, grievously, then what's trouble will come into our lives? More than the natural trouble that everybody experiences. But trouble upon trouble upon trouble to drive us back to repent of our wicked fleshly ways. There are still punishments after, but they begin to recede. Recede. Don't all come like that just because God has accepted us, forgiven us, our worldly ways. I'm not talking about the soul. That's saved eternally. That was saved in eternity. I'm talking about the fleshly ways, the King David ways, the Solomon's ways, where the flesh is afflicted, the person